Aloha, my name is Cornelio C.J. Ancheta. I'm a math teacher at Lahaina Luna High School. Founded on September 5, 1831, Lahaina Luna is the oldest school west of the Rockies. In 1906, Queen Liliuokalani visited the school on the second anniversary of Arbor Day, wherein she planted a royal palm tree. Our academic plan focuses on supporting teachers using varied instructional practices in order to improve student engagement. So last summer, I participated in a math workshop about building thinking classrooms in mathematics, which is actually based on the book of Dr. Peter Liljedahl. So this book is actually designed for math classrooms. However, the strategy, you can use it to any disciplines. So whether you are teaching science, ELA, or social studies, or even in any grades K to 12, I would like to share with you a strategy on using vertical, non-permanent surfaces to improve student engagement, which leads to building thinking classrooms. So following that summer workshop, I started implementing the vertical non-permanent surfaces in my classroom during the early part of the school year. Since then, I have observed some positive outcomes wherein my students engage more in their collaboration. But what does a thinking classroom look like? There are several elements, but I'm going to share with you the three major components. So the first component actually is to form small random groups of 3. But why 3? 3 is actually a desired number. So when you have 2, the students struggle more. But when you have 4, actually it's going to devolve into a group of 3 plus 1. You can actually form random groups using a stack of cards. But in my case, I've been using this program called Picker Wheel, wherein I input all the names of my students, spin the wheel, and then that program will create random groups for me. So the second component is having the students stand up and solve a task using vertical non-permanent surfaces. And this is actually where the students are engaged in rich discussions and collaboration. Based on the research of Dr. Peter Liljedahl, he found out that when students are standing up, the time and task doubles versus that when they're sitting down. So the third component is the teacher's feedback. So I go from one station to another to observe and listen to my students' conversations. I refrain from answering the question, "Mister, is this correct? Or do we need to add? Do we need to subtract?" Give your students room to persevere in solving those problems. And if need be, scaffold the task. After the group have completed their task, you can have your students do a gallery walk in order for them to provide feedback with the works of other groups. And this is where another scenario that happens where there's rich conversations happening in your classrooms. The research of Dr. John Huddy showed that the effect size for peer conversations and feedback is high at 0.74, meaning that it significantly influences student learning. I have observed positive results using the vertical non-permanent surfaces, such as elevated student collaboration and engagement. Actually, I also observed that my students spent more time working on their task versus that they're just sitting down. When in fact, I also observed that my students actually were not playing on their phones when they're standing up and working on the project or the problem or any task that I usually give it to them. Evidently, this is great. I was able to manage their behavior because that strategy was able to create positive impact on students' attitude and participation. Try this strategy. Probably at first think of something that is not curricular, and then work your way up giving them more thinking questions or related to your curriculum. I'm confident that your students will welcome this new way of collaborative learning. As educators, we always look for strategies in order to meet the learning needs of our students. Everyone a leader, everyone a learner. We is greater than me. Laina Luna Strong.